Hello, everyone. This is a new podcast by MOER, which stands for Making Our Economy Right. MOER is a tiny organization founded in 1991 in Bangladesh after the fall of the Soviet Communist Empire. Communism, however, still exists in various forms, and this is why MOER continues to promote the liberalization of the economy, also known as the free market enterprise. Economies, unlike politics, do not thrive under bureaucratic restrictions or political boundaries. The economy is one. It is interconnected and we are all interdependent. Economies cannot survive in isolation unless in a totalitarian aura. To meet our unending demands and for our growth and prosperity, we need maximum economic freedom for the people of Bangladesh and the world. Thank you and hope you will find or at least listen to our podcast at your convenience. Hoping you like this one too. Bye now. Hi, Mahin. Let me introduce you properly to the audience here. We're not having too many audiences because, well, whatever it is. This is Shaz Amin. Right. And his nickname, as we know him, is Mahin. I had met him during our COVID times. And there was a WhatsApp group called COVID Politics, which is still there. Right. And Mahin was one of those very vocal people who didn't believe the government science. So very happy to have you here, Mahin. And other than the COVID bit, I understand you know a lot about exopolitics. Right. Or that is something to do with extraterrestrial, something to do with the occult, something which very few people have knowledge of. And although I see a lot of videos these days on YouTube from in America, and could you tell us something more about it so that don't frighten us, but tell us what it is all about. And we like to try and figure it out that does it really make sense and apply to us in our day-to-day lives or in the future?
All right.
Yep.
Thank you, Maya. I really appreciate your inviting me to your program. So basically আমার মানে একটা ইনফর্মাল নলেজ বেস তৈরি হয়েছে যেটাকে আমরা আর কি এক্সোপলিটিক্স বলি ফর দ্য ল্যাক অফ এ বেটার টার্ম। অনেকে এটাকে ইউফোলজিও বলে। তো এখন বেসিক্যালি এই সাবজেক্টটাকে অনেকে ও মনে করে যে এটা আসলে রিয়েল না, কিছু ক্রেজি লোকজন এটা নিয়ে অনেক সময় ব্যয় করে, and it's not important, fringe type of মানে সাবজেক্ট যেটা আর কি যাদের হাতে অনেক অফুরন্ত টাইম আছে, কোনো রিয়েল রেসপন্সিবিলিটি নাই, those types of people waste their time on this type of subjects, but nothing could be further from the truth actually. তো যেটা হয়েছে যে বিকজ আমাদের যে ইনফরমেশন হাইওয়েটা ক্রিয়েট হয়েছে থ্রু দি ইন্টারনেট ওভার দ্য পাস্ট 20-30 ইয়ার্স, এটার মাধ্যমে অজস্র ইনফরমেশন আমাদের হাতে চলে আসছে। এখন এক একজন যার যার টেস্ট অনুযায়ী তার পাত্তা চুজ করে নিচ্ছে যে whatever you want to know, if you want to know in this subject of in the medical field, you could learn some things, or healing or Reiki or anything you're interested in under the sun. You could go to YouTube or some blog sites and forums, and you can learn subject unofficially. So এটার ডার্ক সাইডও আছে আবার ভালো সাইডও আছে। যেমন if you're a orthodox medical doctor, if you're a professional doctor, you have a certain knowledge base and you know certain things through experience and lots of practice and all that. So you would have a certain type of knowledge about your subject.
Right.
And somebody who's learning something on the YouTube channel, and they might come and challenge you. Oh no, that's not right. I read it, I saw it on YouTube and stuff like that. So which may create controversy. Who's actually right, the professional doctor or the dabbler on the YouTube
doctor,
YouTube doctor who's So naturally, initially, everybody thought that, well, of course, the professional would know better than the hack on the YouTube. Somebody who's just watching videos on YouTube is not going to have the knowledge base. But over time, we found out that things are not so clear cut actually, because things are changing all the time. And science, as we know it, or education, it's very selective. I mean, if you study in a not so prestigious college or university, you learn in a certain way. And as opposed to an Ivy League college, they teach you differently. You get a better job. You perform differently. You have a different set of knowledge, more expanded or something like that. সো এখানে অনেক ধরনের ক্যাটাগরি তৈরি হচ্ছে। যেমন ধরেন বাংলাদেশেই আপনি অনেক রকম লেভেলের ইউনিভার্সিটি আছে, সবগুলিকে কিন্তু আমরা সমান দাম দিই না। সো এখন So generally, we have a perception that more expensive and more exotic your education is, you know better than like lower financial strata people going to like cheap schools or inexpensive schools, and they don't have the privilege of the very expensive private universities. Obviously, so you cannot really compete. That's one perception. But on the other hand, what happened is because the internet opened up this information highway. If you're smart enough and if you're careful and if you're not like indulgent too much, then you could actually learn a lot of things that you couldn't learn even through your general practice. Now, if you're a doctor, for example, you're specialized. You may be a heart specialist or eye specialist. So your specialization is in that field. So that doesn't necessarily mean that you know everything about viruses, bacteria, what. You may not know because you might have studied it 20 years ago and you forgot what it was or whatever, and there's new things coming along. So what happened is, so these days, there's a trend that if I want to learn something about a new subject that I don't know nothing about.
So you search the internet.
Right. You can actually, if you're smart enough, you could find people who are talking about those very subjects that you want to learn about. And they really know their subject.
Yes. But there's one thing about Mahin, like when I want to search something, I don't search it on Google.
Yeah, absolutely not.
I've heard that Google leads you to some of the misinformation.
Exactly.
So,
absolutely.
So I choose the other one called Brave.
Right.
And they are more, let's say, honest and truthful. Not misleading, and they give you the true signs. So I think we, the internet users, we shouldn't get fooled by everything that we see on the internet.
Absolutely.
So we have to use our own head to find out whether he's right or wrong. In a way, it's good because we can see things critically instead of just swallowing what other person has said, and that's it. Like, let's say before you go to a doctor and whatever he tells you, you swallow it.
Right.
But if I go and search my internet, I know there are options.
Yes. And alternative views as well. Not every doctor
100%. So
follows.
So I don't, the way kind of a thing I used to look at a doctor means, oh man, he knows everything.
Right.
God has given him so much knowledge.
Right.
I don't think so. That is true at all.
It's changing. The world view is changing on these things.
Yes. And their authority is diminishing.
Yep. In fact, I would go forward and say that all authorities are being questioned right now. All over the world, people are questioning authority, all kinds of authorities, which didn't happen the way it's happening now. Like, for instance, this program. This is, you are trying to speak out because you feel that you have something on your mind that needs to be heard by some people. Right?
Yeah, I mean, if I'm communicating with other people, I feel better.
Right. And you do have something to say.
And if they have some, either it can interest them or they can think about it or, how, but my job is to enjoy talking. Like at times I did write very small articles.
Right.
And I found that nobody reads it.
Yeah.
And the newspapers, they don't pay you at all. Right. So why waste the labor? So this video is much better in a way.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a big market because people have less time. So they don't want to read. They think, actually everybody has time, but we're used to thinking that we don't have time. So lots of times people just watch a video because they don't want to read. They think it's gonna take.
But there's another thing, like some people say thoughts are things. So what we are talking and thinking
Yes.
and saying it loud, it stays.
Yeah, it manifests.
It manifests.
Right.
I don't know how.
absolutely believe
We
that.
don't know how.
Actually, we do.
You know,
We
but
do.
then saying it like একটা আছে না বলছে দাওয়ালেরও কান আছে
Right.
মানে if you say something gossip it goes out.
Yeah.
People reach it somehow, you don't know how.
Absolutely.
So আমরা যে সব কথাবার্তা বলছি বলবো and আমারও I feel good that yes, thoughts are things. This can go you know, something in a concrete fashion someplace.
Absolutely. Absolutely. এই অ্যাকশনটা আমরা যেটা করছি এখানে দিস ইজ অ্যাকশন we're just talking but এটা টকিংটাও একটা অ্যাকশন because we are trying to speak the truth এবং ট্রুথ কিন্তু এখন একটা রেয়ার কমোডিটি হয়ে গেছে I think we all know that যে মানে there's too much lies being spoken by authorities. So আমরা তো authority না, we're not authorities.
But why do you think they did all these lies? I mean, like, let's say past 2-3 years, I mean, that was extreme.
Yeah.
But even before that, I know they were lying. Like,
Absolutely.
if they said that, hey, I mean, the government has a big role in the economy, it'll produce, give you sound money. And through years, we have seen it's all rubbish. Now they've used quantitative easing, QE, as a term for paper money.
Right.
They're just printing money and putting it in people's pocket or in the bank's pocket.
Right.
And that's how the stock prices are jumping up and down. But anyway, continue with the exopolitics. I mean,
Okay.
you know,
Right.
who are the big guys in exopolitics?
Some of the folks that I followed over the years, প্রথমে যার কথা মনে পড়ছে, that would be Dr. Michael Salla.
Okay, I've heard of him, yes.
Right. So he was actually teaching, I forget the exact university name, maybe MIT or something like MIT, very prestigious university. He was a professor there.
Right.
But because he started saying things out of the ordinary, they fired him. He got fired. So since then he became alternative guy. But he published dozens of books already.
Yeah.
And he's not always correct. People do criticize him that he's not always on the ball. Sometimes you drop the ball because it's not easy. Because you don't know everything by yourself. আপনার কাউকে না কাউকে trust করতে হবে যে somebody who was an insider or is an insider and they're whistleblowing, they wanna কোনো একটা দুর্নীতি বা কোনো একটা dark truth কে তারা expose করতে চায়.
Right.
So they come out. And when you do that, যখন আপনি পাবলিক ডোমেইনে চলে আসলেন বললেন যে হ্যাঁ আমি একটা এক্সপেরিয়েন্স হয়েছে আমেরিকান গভর্নমেন্টের ভিতরে একটা দুর্নীতি চলতেছে.
Right.
When you do that, you get a protection because people suddenly hear you, and because people are paying attention to you, and you may be saying something that not everybody believes. ধরেন আমি বললাম যে আমি একটা ইউএফও দেখছি এবং আমার সাথে ইউএফওর কমিউনিকেশন হচ্ছে ফর ইনস্টেন্স. তো আমেরিকান গভর্নমেন্ট যেটা করে গত 70-80 বছর ধরে তারা বলে আসতেছে যে there is no such thing. এটা আসলে লোকজন hallucinate করে, thing doesn't exist. এরকম কিছু নাই actually. But recently you hear যে mainstream মিডিয়াতে কিছু ইউএফও শট ডাউন এবং 2-3 বছর আগে একটা আমেরিকান ভিডিও মিডিয়াতে একটা ইউএফওর ভিডিও আসছে, সবাই দেখছিল জিনিসটা যে একটা পাইলট করছে, ক্যাপচার করছে ক্যামেরাতে যে একটা ইউএফও যাচ্ছে. So it was shown on mainstream media. So because of that, when something is shown on mainstream, a lot of people like, oh, really? Okay, they pay attention.
Tend to believe it, yeah.
So a lot of people don't tend to realize that mainstream media is all about propaganda. When they show something on mainstream, they have an agenda behind it. So if they've been saying 70 years, American government is saying, no, it's not UFO, it's swamp gas, it's weather balloon, blah, blah, blah. Suddenly they say, oh, this captain, this pilot in the Air Force saw this UFO.
Right.
So you have to think, wait a minute, didn't they say this thing don't exist for 70 years? And suddenly he's saying, okay, what's going on? So it's a propaganda machine. So actually the reality is that UFOs are very much real.
Yeah.
US government not only know, they create these things. It's their creation. They have technology that looks like UFOs. So এইটাই হচ্ছে exopolitics.
Yeah, like I think the American government, they have announced their space military program,
Absolutely, yes.
which was kept a secret. But then, why would there be space military if there is none of these UFOs and all that thing happening?
Exactly. That's the logical thinking.
Yeah.
Why you need a force in space?
And
if
that's
there's
very
nobody there?
specialized force.
Yeah, it's for space.
Yeah.
Basically, weaponizing space. মানে যদি কোনো এলিয়েন অ্যাটাক করে, they will defend Earth. That's the idea. যে এমনিতে তো
But then we don't know what's the idea, because we're learning how to distrust governments.
right.
So we just don't know what they mean by that. So
Exactly.
we have to do our own assessing things,
Absolutely.
observations,
Do our own research.
learning, and yeah.
Right. এখন যেটা হচ্ছে, because of this information explosion, people are quickly losing faith in our governments because we can see that they're lying all over the place.
And losing faith also in the UN bodies, like UN.
Oh yeah, that's even worse.
And the UN has been taken over by the World Economic Forum.
Right.
I don't know how they started inviting governments at Davos, and now they want to control the whole world or something like that with their scientific agenda. The AI and all that, they call us as useless eaters. How dare they?
Yeah, and we should be eating bugs because
Yes.
by 2030 we will have no money.
Yeah.
And we'll be very happy with nothing to own. They will own everything.
Exactly.
And we will own nothing, but we will be very happy and eating bugs.
Exactly. And then they're making these smart cities, 15 minutes.
Oh yeah, 15 minutes.
So if I walk too many times in a week, they'll say you don't get your money. They'll have the card, they'll give money to everybody in their pocket. So weird ideas, and they're getting away with it because the mainstream is censored. They don't want to hear the other side story. They're just promoting the WEF version.
Their narrative.
Yeah, and the verse is a 2030 UN global agenda.
Yes.
And climate change. A lot of people don't believe in climate change. For example, for the last 50 years, they have been saying Maldives and Bangladesh will go underwater. Where is Maldives? Still a nice tourist spot.
Yeah.
There's no sign of any extra water rising.
Absolutely.
And also in Bangladesh, in the ocean belt, there is land reclamation because of the delta.
Right. It's actually
the forest department or something, I heard they're planting trees.
Right.
So they have all these scary kind of things they want to tell people.
Fear born.
And sorry, I am digressing, but climate change is more of an agenda of the same people, WEF.
Absolutely.
They don't want so many people. They want us to be dependent on them.
Right.
And they want to destroy the economies, and which they have been doing right now.
Absolutely.
Anyway, Mahin, tumi bolo.
Yeah. It seems to me that by 2030, they want to have a certain type of control over whole human population on the planet. তার মধ্যে কয়েকটা আইটেম আছে, যেমন একটা হচ্ছে যে digital currency. If you have digital currency, if you don't have cash, then you are under complete control of centralized.
If somebody can switch me off.
Yes, you can be absolutely controlled, manipulated by the government. So that's very, very dangerous, not having any cash. But I think Bangladeshi average people, especially their corporate chakri করে যাদের টাকা পয়সা একটু বেশি, they don't have little time because they're always slaving their life away, working as corporate slaves.
But also in other parts of the world, everybody's
everywhere. Same story everywhere. But these people, they don't understand the game, so they think it's great to have digital currency because they whip out their special.
So I don't need a thick wallet.
Yeah,
I can do it in a smart card.
Right. They whip out the card and try to get discounts and this and that. They're very happy with the digital currency. Okay, the more great cards they have, the more VIP cards. They're very happy. Like, oh, who cares? I don't need to carry cash or anything. It's a horrible trap. It's a bad trap. Similar. That's one part of the control system that's coming for us.
Yes. But money, even before the digital currency,
normal currency,
money has always been controlled by the rulers and the government.
Yes, and it's fiat.
Yeah, it's fiat. And now it is fiat. But even before the kings, they used to control the mint.
Yes.
Who will make the gold coins is the king. It's not the people or the market.
Right.
So they know money power is a real power.
Right.
And the governments, I don't know why they have
monetary control. Why it should be one kind of currency in a particular market when we are using goods and services from various countries.
Right.
So the various currencies should also float in here, circulate.
Right.
Why one currency? Because the moment I want to exchange and this, I lose value. And maybe I gain some value somewhere. But then this whole trick of this monetary system being controlled distorts the market.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And then it's created inflation.
It is
It's a
nothing natural.
wrong signal to the entrepreneurs and producers and the consumers. We just don't know what the hell is happening.
Absolutely.
And the problem is government. And this idea of government controlling and managing or planning the economy is by the academics.
Right.
And
these academics are also very, very controlled.
Very much controlled because they just care for their position and power in the chair.
They're funded by certain
the lifelong
foundations.
Job.
Yeah.
And then they say all these kind of things. They don't care for us, the people.
Absolutely.
They think they're very wise heads and they know exactly how to plan. But again, we have this Austrian school of economic thought like Hayek and Mises. And Milton Friedman is libertarian, but he's not Austrian in that sense. They challenged this idea. They always said way back in 1940s that communism is bound to fail. Because planning has a problem of calculating who needs what.
Okay.
Because our want is subjective. But I, as a government, see Mahin needs a home and his children to the school and he's a good transport. But you may not. Your need is always subjective. So
right.
They want to give you this and you're not happy. It's not
exactly.
It's not raising your standard of living.
Why should the government decide what I want and what I need? That's not for them to decide.
No, because we are supposed to be the sheep.
Right. So communism or socialism, this has already failed in my eyes. Because in America, people do not condone communism at all. They really hate the idea of communism because it's fascist.
They don't understand that how communism and different garbage has taken them over.
Yes, America is a communist country right now.
The Dr. Fauci could be just like Mao Zedong.
Absolutely.
He's not a Lenin did.
Exactly.
So is our Gates.
Absolutely.
Trotskytis or Trotsky.
Trotsky, yeah.
So they are that.
I read about him.
So
absolutely.
Americans below the world below, we have been fooled. We think, oh boy,
absolutely.
What's happening? These great guys, they are doing this, doctors, scientists, wow.
Right.
So how we have been tricked and fooled.
But
we are human beings, so we are far more powerful than the AIs and whatnot.
Absolutely.
Or the governments.
বাংলাদেশের মানুষের একটা টেন্ডেন্সি খেয়াল করা যায় সেটা হচ্ছে যে because we have a lot of problems here, so we tend to think that the Americans or the United Nations, those guys that are better than us.
They have told us that repeatedly. They have told us.
It's
like ধরো আমরা আগে বুঝতাম যে সাদা মানে your superior.
Absolutely.
Okay, আমি যখন লন্ডন গেছি first way back in 70s, and when I found whites pulling a trolley, I said, oh boy, immediately shocked.
Right.
Oh boy, this guy is, he's doing a so lowly task.
Right.
অনেকে গেছে নিয়ে বলছে আমি তো সাদা খেতে আজকে বুট পলিশ করেছি। তো আমাদের সাইকোলজিকে ঢুকছে that white means you're superior.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a problem.
Fortunately, unfortunately, the knowledge, the technology, whatever the science, it happened there. The enlightenment happened in the West, not here. But that gave them the industrial power, gave them a lot of power to bully and keep the rest of the world suppressed.
Yeah.
Because they had better guns.
Right.
Right? So they subdued us, or whatever it is,
ওই এরাটা এখন আস্তে আস্তে কিন্তু নেমে যাচ্ছে. They are losing control very slowly, but actually
now is the time for us to grow.
Yeah.
And say, hey, we are human beings too, man.
Right.
You may have a whiter skin, but look, I have my skin, but no way I'm smaller than you.
Right.
Whether it's my head or whether it's my heart or whether it's my vision, no way. We are the same.
Exactly.
Right?
Absolutely.
So we have to be a lot more aware, and I think the internet is really helping.
Who's helping?
The internet.
Internet, yeah.
The global networking is very important. It'll go our way. It cannot serve the interests of the minority billionaires.
Exactly, which they have.
They did complete misreading about it.
Totally.
I mean, they are helping us to be aware.
আমরা কিন্তু একটা কাস্পের জায়গায় দাঁড়ায় আছি এই মুহূর্তে we're actually on the verge of defeating this negative cabal that we're talking about because they're fighting back. They fight very dirty too, so they're still fighting. They are not defeated yet.
No.
But এই যে আমরা যত আমরা ভোকাল হব they that quickly they lose power. They lose power that much quickly.
Because when the game is up for them,
Yeah,
they know, hey, we can't conceal it anymore now.
right.
So we are getting exposed.
Yep. So it's very important, I think, for us to talk like this. So our initiative, I
And
appreciate.
I wanted you here to talk about exopolitics because I hear a lot in America and Sweden
Right.
and whatnot. So you're the rare few or rare one talking about
Over here, I am.
in Bangladesh.
Yeah.
It's very important. You're very important, and you can tell so many things to many people. But
Right.
and because you have been after it about 10-15 years, it somehow gave you developed a passion for it.
Absolutely.
So you should definitely be encouraged to tell more.
Thank you.
I mean, you don't have to be accurate. Nobody is
No,
accurate.
everything needs to be verified.
But yes, but we can be aware about it
Yeah.
and do our own research.
Right.
I
Absolutely.
mean, like astrology. I mean, I gave up astrology, but these days I think, hey, this is so important
Yeah.
because even earthquakes are being told that, hey, when the new moon happens, it has always been seen that you get earthquakes. So, like 27th to 30th of March, or Assam belt or one in Hindu Kush, they're supposed to be having earthquakes.
Oh yeah.
So these are fantastic things, but these are all suppressed because the government said, "No, we know science,
Right.
so everything is fine."
Absolutely.
So anyway, continue, Bolo.
So ওই একটা বিষয় আমাদের একটু কেয়ারফুল থাকা দরকার এই মুহূর্তে বিকজ অফ দ্যাট কাস্পের কথা বললাম যে বা ক্রাক্স একটা ক্লাইম্যাক্সের দিকে আমরা যাচ্ছি ওয়ার্ল্ড ওয়াইড যে মানুষ খুব দ্রুত এক্সপ্যান্ডেড অ্যাওয়ারনেসের দিকে যাচ্ছে পিপল আর লার্নিং অ্যাবাউট দিস এক্সোপলিটিক্স দ্যাট উই উইল টক অ্যাবাউট ইন দ্য ফিউচার অলসো আজকে হয়তো বা হইল না বাট the thing is ওই যে 2030 যে একটা এজেন্ডা আছে ওটা ওরা কিন্তু খুব সাইলেন্টলি পুশ করতেছে সেজন্য মিডিয়াতে there's nothing no talk about this 2030 agenda. There's all kinds of nonsense going on in the media, but that's how you know that they move very silently. They keep us distracted with UFO shutdown, this, that, Russia fighting Ukraine, these things. In the meantime, they silently spread their makosha jal.
Yeah. But to me, on Bolla, I don't think they are winning because the way they started 2 years back and where they are now, I think they are losing ground.
Right. I mean, I would appreciate that. But the thing is, আমি তো এগুলো ফলো করে সারাক্ষণ যে কি হচ্ছে না হচ্ছে. So media কিন্তু একদম silent right now about মানে there's no news যে কাবাল হেরে যাচ্ছে or something happening. Trump is going back, getting back power. বেশিরভাগ ক্ষেত্রে দেখবেন যে Supreme Court didn't take the Brunson case, for example.
What case was that?
Brunson কেসটা ছিল ইলেকশন বিষয়ে মানে ইলেকশনে যে ফ্রড হয়েছে ওটা এগেইনস্ট ওটার জন্য একটা কেস করা হয়েছিল
কিন্তু ওটা তো সুপ্রিম কোর্ট বলছিল will consider.
Yeah, but they didn't.
They didn't.
No, they threw it out again.
Okay.
So that shows you the cabal is not done yet.
Not done yet.
They're not done yet. They're still fighting back. So there is still a chance because যেহেতু average person এত time নাই exopolitics এগুলি জানার. They don't have time for all this. So they don't really understand যে এই কাবাল কিভাবে সাইলেন্টলি তাদের গেমগুলি খেলে সো the 2030 is their next big game, I believe. যে যেটার জন্য ওই একটা বললাম যে আপনার ডিজিটাল কারেন্সি ওরা পুশ করবে, একটা ভ্যাকসিন পাসপোর্ট ওরা পুশ করবে, তারপরে এআইটা পুশ করবে.
I know they have many things in their mind, in their head. But কথা হচ্ছে কি that আমাদের যে again I'll go a little bit on astrology. Not that I'm an astrologer, but I just listened to a lot of their videos.
Right.
What they are saying is that, if the planet positions change, it releases energy. Because the world is all about energy vibration,
Exactly.
and what do you call this? The other thing, um, vibration, energy, or
Frequency.
frequency. Yes. So it releases. We go into a higher frequency,
Right.
and when we do that, people, we the people, তাদের awareness,
Yeah.
alertness বেড়ে যায়.
Right. That's it
They are
happening
no
right now.
more. They don't sleep. They're not sleeping. They're not. They try to break away.
Right.
So that is emerging.
Happening. এখানে একটা
Actually,
Sorry.
like হল্যান্ডে দেখো মাঠে নেমে গেছে 70 বছরের ডাচ কি মাঠে নামছে কোন রাস্তায় নামছে they are burning cars which we used to do here say 20 years back. We don't burn cars here because আমাদের frequency vibration অন্যদিকে যাচ্ছে. I don't know which way it is.
Okay.
And western look at France is burning,
Right.
you know.
Was
So
the yellow vest movement of France?
what was it, 90s or a few years back?
A few, 3-4 years.
And
back.
that, but the repeated waves of movement,
Right.
they come. Finally, it doesn't stop.
Exactly.
So there is an awareness coming because the new energy,
Absolutely.
people are getting new energy
Right.
to come into action. Okay, এখন শোনো, এখন তুমি বাংলাদেশে বলো political change, but we don't drag on it. People energy নাই, I feel. Like 71, people energy somehow it came.
Right.
It came. Because
clicked.
I don't know, some
Right.
astrologer can say, hey, that time this was the star. and
Probably
this
there
was that,"
was.
You know? And so that is why people were energized.
Right.
And they came for it. Look, they had guns, but still we went, fighting. Energy. So I want to, energy level is coming.
I think so. Yeah.
And that's the only way you can destroy these big authorities, the monetary authorities, the health authorities, economic authorities.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they are, we are just enslaved people globally. And local আমাদের যে domestic government, they follow the system. Later by World Bank, IMF, WHO, UN.
Yeah.
And they have the big posh UN cards.
Absolutely.
You enter
Range Rover.
walkie-talkie, as if they are doing all of my goodness. What the hell are they doing? We are in good hands.
Right.
But they are the biggest criminals.
Absolutely.
Peacekeeping, world কোথায় peace আসছে?
Absolutely.
World Bank, কোন World Bank has developed a country?
All fake.
IMF, where is the value of your money going?
Complete scam.
Where is your আমাদের monetary freedom কই?
Exactly.
No, you go ahead, বলো।
Yeah, আপনি এইমাত্র যেটা বললেন যে এগুলো তো ওই যে ওয়ার্ল্ড ব্যাংক, BIS, Bank for International Settlement.
Yeah. Which is not even, this is a private body, I think.
These are
BIS
all
or
private
something.
bodies. Unelected officials run these. Bureaucrats.
And they give us impression they know a lot. They know everything about money.
Right. Yeah.
What is the basis of money? That you know everything and I wouldn't know?
Right. So এখানে একটা পারসেপচুয়াল সামারসল্ট আমাদের ঘটাইতে হবে যে মানে বাংলাদেশের মানুষ কিন্তু বিল গেটস এর নাম শুনলে দে হ্যাভ এ পজিটিভ ফিলিং যে ও গ্রেট গাই, বাট
Yes.
ইটস নট ট্রু.
Many people don't believe Bill Gates can be doing what
Yeah.
he's supposed to be doing.
রাইট রাইট
Yeah.
কিন্তু মানে বিল গেটস এর যে যাত্রা শুরু হয়েছে মাইক্রোসফট দিয়ে, ওইটাও কিন্তু একটা স্ক্যাম ছিল. হি ওয়াজ এন IBM. আই ওয়ার্ক ফর IBM. ওখানে আমি শুনছি when I went to IBM as a employee, I heard about Bill Gates. He was not an employee, he was a contractor with IBM. And
Then he stole some DOS.
he was
something
charged
like
with
that.
getting and finding out.
And his mother knew this IBM head that time, so that's how he went.
So he used the network and stuff.
Yes.
So ওর জার্নিটাই শুরু হয়েছে কিন্তু একটা মানে নেগেটিভ স্ক্যামের মাধ্যমে. That's how he's been growing. And ওর ফাউন্ডেশন গুলো যেটা করে, he has tons of foundations and they pay each other, so the money just goes in circles but it stays with him. So এরকম আর কি অজস্র স্ক্যাম করতেছে.
ইন্ডিয়া তো কেস করছে,
Right.
যে পুনাওয়ালা নাকি আছে বিল গেটস এর এজেন্ট, ভ্যাকসিনস বানায়।
আচ্ছা,
সাম পুনাওয়ালা, ইজ এ বিগ ম্যান, এন্ড বিল গেটস, দুজনকে করছে
তাই না?
ইন দি কোর্ট।
ওখানে বেদ চৌধুরী একটা মহিলা আছে, নাম শুনছে মনে হয়, ওনার কতটা বই আছে.
আচ্ছা আচ্ছা।
She exposed the 1%ers, যে GMO food and those things.
ওটা তো ওয়াদানা নাকি জানো,
Vandana.
বান্দানা। She's very vocal. She's a leftist, but now I think I like her message now. She's
Yeah.
really attacking Bill Gates
Yes, that's what I'm talking
and
about.
this whole cabal or whatever we
Right.
say. She's very well known outside.
Yeah, right.
And I think she's in physics and she studied physics and all that.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
But India, I mean, I'm quite amazed. People have taken this COVID thing to the court. They have got the
Right.
court involved. There are many volunteers who are trying to, raise awareness with the people, young people,
Right.
you know. তারপরে ওখানে বাইরের ডক্টর নিয়েও গেছে, ওয়ার্কশপ করাইছে against about the vaccines. But Bangladesh seems to be very, very quiet about it.
Yeah.
I don't know why. তারপরে আমরা তো লাইক কোভিড পলিটিক্স আমরা যেমন ছিলাম, এখনো ধরো আছি, but we had some of these group meetings. No lawyers took any initiative to
Yeah,
take this to
they
the
didn't
court.
dare.
But why not?
They tried to. I'm not জানি that some people tried, but eventually they didn't dare.
আমার মনে হয় না they tried. Some people tried. They always wanted not to show their face.
Yeah.
And
Because
go in the bad books of the government. But the government would be very happy if somebody's telling the truth. The government can tell
Right.
WHO, hey, look, but you say this, my people say this, what comes?
usually people's voice is very important.
Absolutely.
Yeah, right. কিন্তু বাংলাদেশে তো কথা বলা খুব রিস্কি, সো পিপল আর ভেরি অফ্রেড। ঘটনা হচ্ছে কি, আপনি খেয়াল করবেন যে even if the government doesn't say anything, people censor themselves, self censor করে মানুষ নিজেকে। বা আপনি কোনো ট্রুথ বললে আপনাকে বলবেন না, ডোন্ট সে দিস, ইউ বি আন্ডার অ্যাটাক এন্ড অল কাইন্ডস অফ থিংস।
না, ওইটা আমি বুঝি। আমার কি দরকার আছে, বাট আমি যদি গালাগালি করলে চেঞ্জ আসতো তা বুঝতাম, গালাগালি করতাম।
গালাগালি না, মানে স্পিকিং দ্য ট্রুথ, যেমন আমরা যেটা বলছিলাম যে লয়াররা আমরা চেষ্টা করছিলাম, কিন্তু আলটিমেটলি
That's very disappointing.
Right.
Very disappointed with our lawyers that they wouldn't take a step.
Exactly. So
Or they could at least get someone to take a step.
right,
Nothing.
nothing. Yeah,
You know? So anyway. So
exactly. So আমরা কিন্তু ওনাদেরকে ফলো আপ করেছিলাম, সাপোর্ট দেওয়ার চেষ্টা আমরা যত সম্ভব
I know
করার
you
চেষ্টা
all tried.
but
You
it didn't happen. এখন that's the reality. People are afraid.
Anyway, that's fine. Anybody can get scared and afraid.
Yeah, it's not easy. It's not
Right.
so
তোমার এক্সো পলিটিক্সে আমরা আরো শুনবো।
right.
And ধরো in 2 weeks time maybe we get back again, because I don't want too many speakers. I want few selected speakers, and let those speakers specialize in whatever they want to say.
Right.
Like, you can tell us about exopolitics, what's the situation like now, what's happening, who is what in this game.
Okay.
আচ্ছা, আরেকটা কোয়েশ্চেন, ইউএফওস খালি আমেরিকায় দেখা যায় কেন? Why not in Bangladesh?
Exactly. But
Somebody was asking this.
right. People.
What's the mystery?
The actual answer is বাংলাদেশেও প্রচুর ইউএফও দেখা যায়, কিন্তু কেউ এটা নিয়ে মানে
দেখা যায়?
অফিসিয়ালি, হ্যাঁ আমি নিজেই দেখছি প্রচুর,
Really?
multiple times. হ্যাঁ,
Any pictures?
I actually had a video and pictures. I shared it on Facebook.
Really?
Yeah, এখন অনেক আগে তো বুঝলে হয়তো পাওয়া যাবে।
কেউ তো, আচ্ছা, প্লাস আমাদের এখানে যে ক্যাম্প ট্রেলস করে, এটা তো বাংলাদেশেও হয়।
এটা খুব রেয়ারলি ওরকম ভাবে, আমেরিকায় যেরকম আকাশে তাকালি দেখা যায় যে কোনো সময় 24 ঘন্টা চলতে থাকে, ওটা বাংলাদেশে না, হঠাৎ হঠাৎ দেখাতে পারে।
They're trying to dim the sun ray.
Yeah, in US it is like that. I mean, there's so much chemtrail that
Yeah.
they try. I mean, that's one theory.
Yes.
That they're trying to dim the sun.
Next time we'll try and talk about what's happening in the US and what is this, which Trump had labeled as cabal.
Right.
Cabal and the fake media. What are they up to? What's happening there now?
Right.
আমরা তো এখনো ভাবি আমেরিকা মানে বাপরে বাপ, America, but I keep on telling this is not that old America. This is Biden's America.
Yeah, absolutely.
Biden is something else.
Absolutely.
So I don't
Completely
see
fake.
America as that. হ্যাঁ, আমেরিকার ভিতরে সবসময় ডিপ স্টেট ছিল, মেবি they had a dirty agenda,
Absolutely.
but now it is gone too much.
Absolutely.
They can do
Exposed.
whatever dirty agenda they want, but we are not going to be used by them or be enslaved by them.
Totally. ওরা তো ডাইরেক্টলি কিছু পারে না, ইনডিরেক্টলি ম্যানিপুলেট করতে থাকে সবাইকে। So we need to understand that.
Exactly. Like the Ukraine war, I don't believe it. I say it's a studio war.
Yeah, it seems like
It's
it.
a
Why
war in
would
the
it go on
studio.
for such a long time?
And that man, Zelensky, it's a rubbish kind of a man, loose character.
Yeah.
পুরো puppet হিসেবে বসায় দিছে, and the world wants to believe them. But again, the world doesn't believe them. It's the fake media that highlights them
Exactly.
and
এই
promoting
বাইডেনের
them.
ছেলেরও কিন্তু একই অবস্থা। জেলেনস্কি যেরকম,
হ্যাঁ।
he's complete crackpot.
Completely gone, and they're so corrupt, and
Debauchery.
they keep all the dirty money in Ukraine, and that is why the war is on. Supposedly, all the secret biolabs supposedly are in Ukraine.
Yep.
And ওই যে তোমাদের আমাদের Harvard professor Professor Jeffrey Sachs, who had advised Russia for privatization.
Okay.
He's very vocal. He's on the left side also, but he's been very honest because he was the chair of this Lancet for some 2 years or so.
Okay.
And then he said, I know this lab leak or the lab manufactured bioweapon or whatnot didn't happen in China. It happened in America.
Right. Yeah. A lot of people know that.
So like Putin is saying, hey, a lot of these labs are, bioweapon labs in Ukraine. That's too close to me. So I won't let that happen. But the mainstream doesn't tell us that. They're saying, oh, tomorrow there's a World War III going. There's a nuclear war happening.
You're right.
They're just trying to fear us.
ওইটার কারণে তো বাংলাদেশের জিনিসপত্রের দাম বেড়ে যায়।
Inflation.
Right.
Ukraine war, inflation has gone up. Cost of petrol has gone up.
Completely
So
fake.
আমরা কিন্তু we are surviving because we have a healthy black market economy.
Right.
I think the black economy is a real economy
Right.
where I don't have to go to the government for the license.
Exactly. That's what's keeping us
If
alive.
I'm going for a treatment, I don't go to the central bank. Sir, please give me £100 because I have this condition and I need to go there. And no doctors here or medicine there. I can tell my hundiwala that send me that money there.
Right.
So I'm liberated. But why should we live in this kind of existence?
Right. It's illegal.
Why can't we have our rights? And I take my money. I'm not taking your money.
Right.
Right?
Absolutely.
Anyway, so let's see. I don't know how many minutes we spoken.
Yeah.
So you want to say anything more?
No, I think we're good for now. I think as a first session, we didn't really talk about exopolitics, but
And you take it very seriously, okay? You take this subject seriously. I'm sure a lot is happening. A lot of politics is changing in the world, in America, and that will have its ripple effect on the whole world. So your awareness, your research is very, very valuable.
Thank you, sir. I believe that.
Yeah.
I believe that.
So please.
I take it seriously. I don't take
Yeah.
it lightly.
And don't, as I told you before, stay out of other subjects because I think this is far more important.
Thank you.
So nobody should think that this guy is, he's talking all kind of junk. No,
Right.
he's talking something very valuable and is well researched, documented, and it needs to be told and discussed.
Absolutely.
Bolo?
এখন আজকে I think আমাদের 40 minutes তো হয়ে গেছে, so I think we should call it a day for today. I
Okay.
think কারণ এখন শুরু করলে আবার আরো 10-15 মিনিট কথা বলতে হবে, so I think আপনি যেহেতু half an hour মধ্যে
2 weeks পরে আবার be ready, do your homework,
reconvene.
do your research, whatever it is, whatever you want to air, so we'll discuss and talk about it again.
Absolutely.
Alright, Mahin, তুমি বৃষ্টির মাঝে এসছো. I mean, there was a slight storm and that's you still came, you're wet, and that shows the kind of enthusiasm and the passion you have for what you want to talk about.
Yeah, I do have it.
And a typical Bengali would have made an excuse. Well, now, bhaiya, bishti portese, ekhon to ashbo na.
Right.
Like I sent my man to get a plug in the storm. I also gave him an umbrella. Say, go bhai. And he didn't. He said, I said, why you're late? He said, because it's raining.
Right.
So, but you see, look at you. You're wet and you're still wet. I hope you don't catch cold, and I'll give you a mega dose of vitamin D3.
Yes,
You
sir.
won't get cold. Okay, I learned this from the videos, mind you.
Okay.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you, Mahin, for coming, and we'll see you soon again. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Making our economy right, or MOER, is all about a natural individual economic sovereignty, which we have surrendered to our governments. This has been a fact worldwide for decades together. MOER understands that a combination of individual freedom, monetary freedom, the free markets, and property rights can propel economic prosperity in every household in all nations. But how do we bring these to reality or correct the condition that we are in? I think it is by discussing on various platforms with the people that we become aware of the economic truths in knowing what serves us best. Is it the government or us, the people? We want you, not some ivory tower bureaucrat or a Nobel laureate, to fix your economy by proclaiming your naturally endowed economic rights. Thank you. And MOER will continue to talk with people as we do now. Thank you.